Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, one more time, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. My focus is on human beings all over the earth. That's my focus. What threatens you threatens life, and it is the duty and responsibility of each of us to be responsible for life. And there have been ways that have been manipulated, oh boy, that has been designed, to keep you from knowing certain things. And the efforts to make sure that you are not denied them are coming sometimes in some very peculiar ways. And perhaps this is one of them. However, it is my duty and responsibility that I accept quite well. Let me try to see if I can get you on a particular focus, all of us on a particular focus that will help us to understand the point that I try to make with you today. We all are familiar with families. Some going through rough times, others not so rough. But at the same time, the responsibilities of the families are the same. The ideal is where you have at least two partners, a male and a female. This ideally, who engage in certain activities that bring about children. And when these children enter into this unit, these parents have the responsibility of taking care of these children, just as the child was in the womb of the mother. The mother, whole body, soul, and spirit, was responsible for taking care of this child or these children, depending upon how many are in there. And so when they come into this world, the parents, the father and the mother, have the responsibility of taking care. Now, depending upon the social dispensation of things, it happens in various kinds of ways. Ideally, you would say that a mother would raise the children, stay home, take the kids out doing all the various things that kids can do during the day when they're growing up, rather than having them in preschool and all these other kind of kindergarten schools, have them in mother school. The mother can teach them the ways of life according to the life that they know. The father is out there doing whatever he does to make sure that when he does this, the family won't have to worry about where they're going to sleep, whether they got insurance, whether they got education, whether they got health care, whether they got all of the things that are essential for survival in this life and some means of decency. That's ideally what we see families doing. And they are raising these kids, teaching them all about the values, teaching them about the morals of life, so that they will understand them and will not stray away from them, maybe gravitate to something clearer and better, but never to go back down in the rabbit hole. And so we look at all life forms. We look at the animals. We look at, just look at them. They all do the same thing. They all care for their young. Now, for those humans who love pets, who can really afford them, they treat them like humans. They even call them their children. You hear them all the time. Some of us can't understand why they do that, but they understand. And that's all that's important, that they understand. And if one of them, the pets or extended family members with 4 legs or whatever, get sick, they take them to the doctor, take them to the hospital, and do all kinds of things. Now, for those who did not come in that ideal type of family, but the family structure that was broken up, maybe there was just one parent. Maybe there was no consistent means of income to support the needs not only of the mother but any of the children. And so it caused a certain amount of suffering that was disproportionate for this particular family to be able to equate life as the ones that I've just described, those who are ideal. But see, when you think about stuff like that, you ask yourself, why does this stuff exist? The parent who has a sick child who don't have health care can't take the child to the doctor. If they got a pet and the pet is sick, they can't take the pet to the doctor. So that they tell the pet, I'm sorry, if I could do more for you, I would. But right now, I just hope that something comes along or that it will wipe itself out, clear itself up. That's the same thing they tell themselves when they go and can't pay the doctor bills or can't make them. They just say, well, we have to take a pass on that and hope that it will work itself out. You see, these are the kind of things that happen when people fray away in various directions, not concerned about the common good, which the only way that the problems can be resolved is when it addresses the common good. You see, you got people who are trying to divide for whatever reason. It has nothing to do with common good. It has to do with what initially started the breakdown of the family in the beginning. You see what you just heard me say about the mother and the father as being parents, the ideal, or the animals having to go through the same thing? Well, human beings, whether you want to admit it or not, the truth of the matter is, we got a common creator that prepared that you and I, every last one of us, could live as though we are in heaven, always. The plan is already laid down for that. It's a choice you have to take. Otherwise, you could take another choice, which leads you all away from that. But that choice is made when you do not accept the fact that there is a God that you can't see. Some people just can't believe that. How can I put my faith in something that I can't see? And since they can't put their faith in something they can't see, then they, because they are alpha or whatever they want to call themselves, are in charge. They're in charge. They're in charge because they're smarter. They're in charge because they are the best. And my friends, they are willing to take you out. They are willing to kill you. Now, let me tell you one of the tricks of the dictators. The dictators believe in this division thing that all you got to do is lie. Just lie, 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 lie. And there are a certain percentage of the population that just can't stand the other part of the population based upon the way they've been brought up, based upon what they've been exposed to in their lives. It ain't nothing just prejudicial per se. It's just the way of the world in which we live. And so they just can't stand. And because they can't stand, they just back into a lie. And they lie, 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 lie. Now, dictators not going to stop lying. They don't have any propensity about decision when it comes down to that. They just going to lie. Lie, 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 lie. They're not going to stop lying. But now good people get tired of that. They get tired of it. So they drop it. And when they quit it, in other words. They just leave it alone. And when they leave it alone, the liar keeps on lying. And then after a while, that lie starts, it's been out there for so long, it starts sounding like the truth. Why? Because there's no one presenting the opposite. They gave in a long time ago. And so now you have moved from where your moral standards have been set at one time to a much lower one. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the whole message of today is to say that God, and I'm here to tell you about God, the one you can't see, the one you can't touch, the one you can't feel. You know, you can't see him with your eyes, you can't touch him with your hand, and your emotions can't conjure up. On the one hand, it's about faith. Faith in understanding that you're here on this earth. Faith and understanding that you know that it's impossible for one of us or two of us to have brought all of this on our own. We know that. So just having a little bit of simple sense would let us know there's a power somewhere that is responsible. So we can't see it. But we can understand just through what we see in our lives what's vital. Survival is number one. And there are certain things that are essential for that. The resources are here. The desires to exercise our gifts that will extract from those resources those things that we need in such an abundance that no one would ever be without them. That's the spirit of the God who is responsible for all creation that we can't see, but we must allow that spirit to live in us as a people. Otherwise, we're going to have people, dictators. We're going to have people who think they're superior to you, trying to tell you what they can do for you. They can't do anything for you beyond what you can do for yourself. And the most important thing you can do for yourself today is start speaking for yourself. Start speaking for yourself. And speak on those things that's morally righteous. Speak on those things that gives life. And when you might be speaking a little less than some life that somebody else is speaking to, listen, because now is your time to move on up. And you'll know it. You'll know when something sounds much better than what you know. And you thank God for it. And so we look at our people, you and I, we look at it. We say, we rethink this thing. You're talking about changing regimes in other countries. We got to check our own self out. We don't want where Trump is leading us. We don't, we brought ourselves here now. Oh yeah, we were led. We were led just like any animal. And we came right here. And they gave us a dose of that aspirin or whatever you want to call it in 2016. And we chose our disease. We chose our sickness. And that's where we're at today. But they're trying to champion that as the future. And that which brought us to this point has nowhere else to lead us but back to that same old thing that brought us here. So I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to go to hell, you better stand up for heaven. If you don't want to go to hell, you better stand up for heaven. If you don't want to live in hell, then you better stand up for living in heaven. And when is that? When you're living. When is that? That's right now. So I'm saying to everybody, all the people all over the earth, I'm saying to you on this Sunday, the second Sunday in 2020, I'm saying to you, everywhere, put your faith in God, who is responsible for your being here and for keeping you. All of that, just put in God. And this is how you get away from the fear. You make sure that that faith that you have in God that gives you all of the freedom that you now have allows you to treat others the same identical way. That your good is about the common good of humanity. That theirs is as well. And if theirs isn't, then yours got to be, so that they can see they got to step up a little bit. Don't be biting your tongue. Don't be wondering what other people are thinking about or saying, because this is brand new. Nobody in the world today, listen to me, nobody in the world today is familiar with this. Nobody in the world today is practicing moral standards of life. Nobody is practicing making sure that none of us human beings are suffering. That's what makes us humans. That's what makes us unique from the rest of the animals, I guess. Because they might be doing some stuff I don't even know about. But I know one thing, we are not doing our best. And so this is the purpose of this message, is to cause you to think again, to make another decision that we can do our best. And rather than be living in hell, you can feel it, You ain't got your bills paid. You living from paycheck to paycheck. You get minimum wage. You living on the streets. You worried about whether you're going to be killed by this. You worried about they're going to take your food stamps. You worried about if you're going to lose this part of your health care. You worried about all of those things that the enemy of your freedom imposes upon you to see if you will accept it. And we as human beings have been accepting it all of our lives. Listen to me. All of our lives we have been accepting it. We have never stopped dreaming. We are always hoping that maybe we win the lottery. Maybe we look down on the ground long enough, we'll find a bag with some money in it. All of that kind of stuff, rather than putting our faith in an idea. An idea that you allow to live inside of you. An idea that is so strong that you will let nothing compromise it. Well, this is the challenge today. The election is coming up. You got more of Trump, more of never knowing when he, in fact, every time he opens his mouth, half of the nation think he's lying. And those people who have been supporting him all the way in his lies, every time you open your mouth to the half of the nation, you are lying as well. And for those of you who got information that can bring some clarity to this nation and to its people, but you keeping your mouth shut, waiting to a time till you can get some money, you are a symbol to the whole world of what is important. Not the decency of the people, not the people having before them the truth so they can make really strong decisions based upon that truth. No, all they see is how important money is. Money is so important you can withhold the truth. Money is so important that you can cloud the truth. Money is so important and power is so important that you can do anything. That's what's being held up before the world. The half of you who do not go along with that, this is what is being held up before you. Why would you want anything less than the best? And why would you put less than the best in the hands of another when you can put it in your own and you can be responsible for yourself and your brother? I'm asking you to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. There needs to be changes here in America. We can't go talking about changes anywhere outside of these borders until we take care of our own. We need to take care of our own. Talking about make America great again. America has never been great. Never, ever been great. It's been what it's been. I'm not going to try to fill in that line. I'm going to let you keep on filling it in. But it has never, ever been great. And the path that you're on right now, you can believe that if you want to. But the hope is that you, the people of the world, you're not waiting until those pains cause you to start running to the border. And when you get in front of seas that toss and the waves bounce, and your fear from where you're running from is so strong that it opens up courage to grab a log or inner tube and challenge those waters to get you to a better place. Let us not wait until those doors open to all of us. Let us stop right now. Let us learn from the pains of our brothers and sisters. Let us forgive ourselves for allowing it to happen to each of us, wherever that pain is, anywhere on the face of the earth. Let us forgive ourselves and make a commitment, a brand new commitment, that we as human beings who are led by a spirit other than whatever we have held up to be supreme, now we're going to put it in the spirit that we can't see, but lives entirely in you and in me. I want to thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this, your time. I hope it was not wasted. I want to say until next time, this is Eddie Marker saying goodbye.